Hey, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome to the letter. Let's check out what was basically going on in the last episode, right? Why not? Let's do it that way. Got so many pages on there during that day. Alright, first of all, as she was about to leave the party back outside of Sulking Loop, she reminded him that brawling wouldn't fix anything, and that he should be with his wife instead. Before leaving the Ember's Manor, Rebecca caught a glimpse of Shadow standing behind him. Next, Rebecca found Ashton waiting for her upon exiting their mansion. Irked because he was nowhere to be found during their party, she demanded to know what was going on. When he couldn't give her an answer, Rebecca warned that they'd still talk about it some other time. Anywho, Professor Andrew Clark has agreed to meet with me 2 days later in front of the Lynchburn Public Libraries. So, no, around here, so it's 30th. He has other commitments, but being a long-time family friend has its perks. I have my parents' connections to thank for that. Of course, I'm not the sort to impose on him often, but the situation is, you know. Well, it's not entirely bad, although it does require calling in a few favors from friends like him. You have more of those friends like that? Without his signature, I won't be able to gain access to the library's restricted section. What? What kind of things are there? If I want to get more in-depth information on the Ermengarde Mansion, that is not simply what they choose to show to the general public. Then you can Google it, probably. I mean, so what if something is not showed in the library to the general public? I bet that information is already somewhere out there in the web. Anyway, as much as I had to admit it, there's always something people censor, and whatever it is, I won't ever find it in the general section. Oh, fuck this censorship. It has to be what we're keeping here, beyond the public eye. Yeah, censorship is really a pain. The thought of that alone makes me antsy. Thankfully, I don't have to brood over it. The wait for the professor doesn't last long. He never did enjoy making people wait. Likewise, he dislikes people who are tardy. He arrives 5 minutes after I do, greeting me with that kind smile and casual wave of his hand. I haven't seen him so long, but it appears he hasn't changed much. His familiar presence alone is enough for a fond smile to spread across my face.
Professor Andrew.
Rebecca.
Oh my god, I didn't know those two names.
Didn't I say long ago you can drop the professor?
You know I can't possibly do that. Even if I can, it feels disrespectful to call you by your name alone.
Nice.
Both you and Ashton never listen to this old man. Kids these days.
All right, but just for today, since you're doing me a huge favor, Andrew.
Now she should feel uncomfortable, I say, Professor Andrew.
I guess you simply can't have it all, even at this old age.
But it is there, right? The difference in age, like, you would say the title every time.
But pleasantries aren't what we're here for, yes? You mentioned you needed a permit.
Yes, sir, if that's okay with you.
More than fine. Anything in pursuit of knowledge, as they say.
He hands me the permit without further prompting. And just like promised, he's also written a recommendation after his signature. This is more than enough to get me to those files. And my mother's small thanks before slipping it to my pocket. Although when I look back up, he throws her throat, the very face of curiosity. Not surprising considering how vague I've been during our talk over the phone. Right then and there, I decided to tell him if he ever asks. Maybe not all of it, but stuff he needs to know. It's the least I can do to thank him. I mean, he already knows plenty for sure from two people. As expected, true to his inquisitive nature, he asks.
If you don't mind, though, I know you've always been an eager learner. But may I know what in the restricted section that piqued your curiosity?
It's the Ermengarde Mansion, sir.
Oh, not you as well. He's quick to raise an eyebrow at that, and for a while I fear he'll take the slip of paper back. Is there something in what I said?
The ones they have out in the general isn't enough?
I'm, hoping for a more in-depth read, sir. More about the history and the people who once lived there. The general section doesn't have anything much on that.
Oh, I see. Well, you certainly aren't the first one to be enamored with that place. It doesn't shock me. The architecture is admirable, and the urban legends are something to talk about. Why, just this past week, I've got a few asking me about that. Imagine that.
Yeah, what's the price?
I think enamored might be a little too much to describe our interest in it. But I have to agree. The mansion is beautiful, even with the renovations. They kept the stained glass windows, too. They are magnificent.
Am I the only one that didn't like it?
Oh, you've seen it.
I was there for a few hours to attend a housewarming party. The invitation was for my parents, but they couldn't make it. My mum used to work as a private tutor for the Evans. Hannah Wright?
Ah, I know of her. Her husband, too. Who doesn't? Luxborn's most popular couple.
Something falls behind his eyes, the warmth in them suddenly gone. Like he's reliving a painful, distant memory. And seeing it play right in front of him. It appears almost as soon as it surfaces, but that look has unsettled something in me. It's not the first time that something weird happens to his emotions.
Is something the matter?
Nothing much. But you know, you're already like a daughter to me. So if you could, do be careful with the friends you make.
Is this about the rights, sir?
Just a friendly advice from an old man. Don't think much about it. Anyway, I have to leave now. Can't miss my weekly serving of bear claws. Say hi to your parents at the detective inspector for me, will you? I wish you luck with all that research.
I will. Thanks for this, Andrew.
Andrew gives my shoulder a light squeeze, reassuring younger me had always appreciated when quickly crossed the street after. I watch him until he disappears behind the door to a cafe, until the depths swimming inside my head finds someone to rest. Whether his business is with the rights isn't anything I should concern myself about. But somehow, in the grand scheme of things now, all of it feels only relevant. The how for I've yet to find out. And I'm hoping the library will give me the answers I want this time. On a gloomy Sunday morning, the library is especially empty. The second floor in particular. I've always considered this place to be a sanctuary, a respite away from the hubbub of the city. As a child, I grew up reading books here, spending hours here to no end, poring over the pages, living out fantasies in my head until my parents called me home. Now it feels nothing like it. The silence is smothering, suffocating. Even with how clean they kept the microfiche room, how the entire small of it lacks a speck of dust or clutter, breathing is a struggle for air. Not far into my stay, I begin to long for the noise outside, and perhaps as a way to calm this unease, I start to hum a tune. Imagine that. Isn't that this London thing? Why of all things it has to be that cylinder cylinder? I have not an inkling. It does the job, however, it feels that will do something far less awkward, far less deafening, and that is enough for distraction. I have business here. No time for sleep daydreams, only important work to attend to. Even if there is a possibility of it being fruitless by some means, it feels like I have to do it. If not for me, then for the people who has been affected by this. What do we even call this? Hunting? Halloween prank gone wrong? Curse? If Isabella were here, what would she say? Will she panic? Will she be angry and listen to her now? It all stems from that one in the movie house, doesn't it? We could have avoided this had we only taken her warnings to heart. One stupid mistake is all it took to set our normal lives. Sorry. On a downward spiral. Frankly, I'm no longer sure if I'm angry at myself for it, or at the universe for throwing us into this mess. But we can only make to do with what little we have, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Going here might not be the right decision, but it's a start.
A good start.
It doesn't take much time for me to find what I need. A microfiche of old newspapers, long kept in special storage cabinets at the far end of the restricted section. The year is 1620s and beyond. Seriously, they keep newspapers those or that old. Nice. Before the Steel Flagshore even exists in the records, when the ammunition has just been built, the Anselm is nothing more but a small sleepy hamlet near a river. So freaking awesome. A lot of his are missing days, sometimes several consecutive weeks, without any records remaining. Often it goes on for years. Troublesome, but as it is, I'm lucky enough to find anything at all, considering how far I'm looking back. Can't be picky now. Can't waste time mulling over what record keepers of the old could have done to make this a breeze for me.
I can still work with this.
The faint whir of the microfiche machine gives me company as I go over each line, each image. Oh yeah, that's how it works, that's right. Hoping for something that goes beyond what the local lore knows. There are snippets. Little mentions of the family that once settled in the house here and there. The usual singing of praises for the couple who had brought up what was once a tiny settlement to a buzzing town. Nothing substantial, nothing I didn't know before. It continues on like this for a good while. Until I come by the years after their deaths. The people of Amsterdam might have Lord William and Lady Elizabeth Ermengarde mourned their passing and held them in high esteem in the years after. But it was their daughter that was remembered fondly by the townspeople. If her parents built this town, Lady Charlotte was the one who made it prosper. Remarkable, considering it was a period of recovery from a bout of plague that killed half the town's population, including her parents. Shit. Free at last. Her puts a stop to local slave trade. What's surprising for? Apparently her time also marked more than superficial changes to the place. She moved things, changed laws, altered old customs and traditions. If they were done on a woman's whims, you see, it doesn't say, but she seems capable enough for more than that. The gist of it is, the town she rebuilt, it's what eventually grew to become Leuchburn City, while the nearby Amsterdam village remained as it was, a relic of the old. A frown swiftly forced my face.
So, why is there a need to hide this?
One by one, I tried to recall every lesson I've gone through, every book, paper, journal I've read. None of those ever mentioned this. It's always the lord and the lady of the house, their android child, always an afterthought to those anecdotes, the one who always took her life in the end. Never someone who restored a town from the brink of collapse or brought new ideas to it. It's because she's a woman.
That pisses me off.
Granted, not everything is sunshine and rainbows, not all aspects of her can be considered admirable. But this is history. Some parts are bound to naturally delve into unpleasant territory whether liked it or not. Leuchburn witch burns. What? Witch hunts, for example, became common near the end of her life. The most ridiculous thing, probably. I mean, one of the most ridiculous things from the past, right? Of humanity. Humans really are trash. Which would have been completely unremarkable and might have gone to become a mere footnote in history if it didn't involve Lady Charlotte and the very slave she saved. It caused quite stir, enough to leave almost a week's worth of clippings. The girl was eventually burned, condemned by entire town. Well, I guess we know who we are dealing with. At the word of Lady Charlotte alone. But this doesn't really have anything to do with this curse, does it? You think? Unless the one following us and this slave are the same person. A tale of revenge, how cliché. However, with the lack of accurate photographs, it's impossible to well. Maybe if I squint, the illustration would start resembling her. Okay, I know this is crazy, but what if it's not really a tale of revenge, but because like that person is like witch hunted, they somehow by burning that person basically the whole process doesn't allow the soul to ascend, something like that, and it stays on the freaking earth. What if it works like that? Never thought of it that way. I don't know where the idea came from even. Well, whatever. Continue. But in my field it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. I'll be the laughing stock of the committee.
This isn't going anywhere.
Mentally exhausted, I take a careful step away from the screen, pressing a palm to my tired eyes. The lack of ample light in this area doesn't help. A headache already threatens to form at the back of my head, yet I'm nowhere near figuring things out. It's simply too much to take in all at once.
I should have asked for someone's help.
Now I'm at a dead end. I start gathering everything around me and placing them back in their respective envelopes for storage. The emotions no longer new after volunteering here a number of times. I didn't make much mess anyway, considering the lack of materials available to begin with. I'll have to look somewhere else. The where remains unknown for. While just about to sleep, the last of the slides in, something catches my attention. My hand passes the microfiche halfway through its protective sleeve. It is one of the few I set aside without taking a careful look at it. It seems like a costume called at first glance, but upon a closer look, I slide back to the reader, gently turning the dials in search of the pages. Page. It takes some time, but once the image becomes clear. Ermengarde her announces betrothal. What? They must have had this droning commission for this announcement. I don't doubt it. The details are far more intricate, their likeness likely goes to how they might have appeared at the time. They're both recognizable this way, closer to those paintings I've seen in the mansion. However, it's the man standing beside her, Edward Godfrey, according to the article that caught my attention previously. Her first cousin and eventually her fiancé. He was your cousin, damn it! Maybe it's the posture, the manner in which he holds himself, or maybe it's the shape of his eyes, for I can't be too certain about that until I've gotten a better reference. Yeah, I think I would know where she's going with that. He's similar to Luke. Nevertheless, there is a resemblance. He looks eerily like. My head snaps up, gloating at whoever's running in the floor above. And they add much upstairs and reprimand whoever it is.
This is a library, for heaven's sake.
But now isn't time. I've gotten what I need. Without wasting another minute, I hit the machine's print button for a copy of the page, while my other hand moves to put everything back into storage. A ragged exhale slips from me. Relief perhaps, or maybe this is already exhaustion. Regardless, soon I close my eyes as I wait for the print to finish, if only to save of headache building up from everything. Why do you freaking hum the London again? Sometime I even began humming the same song again, for comfort. How the hell does it comfort you? Despite my doubts about this, despite all the tension on my shoulders. I don't understand, how does this give you comfort? With the help of Professor Andrew Clark, Rebecca was able to gain access to the library's restricted area section. I wonder if the libraries in my city might have restricted sections. Shit. Okay, in there she discovered numerous accounts about the Ermengardes, all hidden from the public. Her research was interrupted, however, when? When what? Nothing still happened on those 2 days. Alright. This may be a small find, but at least I can start somewhere. We can start somewhere. There's a way out of this. I know it. The printer sputters to a halt. However, its sounds isn't what makes me snap my eyes open. I told you to not hum that. A fleeting, chilly brush of air behind my back. Oh! Brief enough for something signaling to suddenly lodge itself in my throat while I take in my surroundings. It's that suffocating sensation again. Well, my sensation suffocating is that my battery in the tablet runs out, creeping to every part of me, crawling under my skin, draining me little by little of any strength. From that day in the mansion, from that brief moment at school, remember, never hum that song. Without delay, I grab the papers to make a quick beeline for the door. Oh fuck my life. My whole body freezes.
What are you doing, Miss Pink?
Are you kidding me? I hold my breath, not daring to make any noise. For a little while, only the sound of paper scrambling under my grasp fills the room. Excitement from earlier gone instantly, replaced by cold, seeping dread spreading throughout my limbs. But more than the fear is the anger. It pains me to hear her using my own student's voice against me, and more than once I believe it was really her. She has no right.
Why don't you play with me?
Although she hasn't made a move, if there isn't a wall behind me, I'll probably take a step back. Anything to put distance between us, no matter how small, as long as I'm out of her reach. Oh. But I steel myself. Because if I do fall back, turn away from her, I'll be left with no way out. I'm not dying here.
You think you scare me?
Well, you don't at all.
Miss Pink, don't be so rude. I'm waiting.
I'm not afraid of you, you spook.
Yeah, not at all.
This is one Scotswoman. You aren't getting into an early grave without a fight. Come at me.
I expect she'll lunge, prove to me what a monster she is. Instead, she... Oh, she gives me a smile twisted and gnarled. It's as if time has crawled to a stop at the side of it. Yes, please, second decision. I mean, you don't have a camera, that's problematic. If you had a camera, you could use the flashlight, just as Zachary did, you know. It is a freaking deadly weapon, apparently. And before I know it, my body shifts. Eyes closing in anticipation, hand grabbing whatever's solid enough on the near table and hurling it at her. The book! I don't bother looking if whatever I throw hit its mark. I run, as fast as my legs can carry me, despite my heart turning to burst out of my chest. But in this maze of bookshelves, with the whole place almost void of people. Head for the door, or head upstairs. Yeah, head up. Pfft, are you ridiculous? Alright, if there's one thing I will never do, is head upstairs or freaking head into the goddamn downstairs, like, you know, under the freaking ground. That's two most ridiculous things you can do. Let's go for the door. Hopefully outside. If there's one, it is out of this room, out of this place, as far as anyone can get from her. Okay. Note to self: never enter restricted areas in libraries alone. Like there must be another person with you that isn't a freaking ghost. Anyway, I can think about the rest of what I can do after I'm outside, when there are other people I can ask for help. When she's not chasing me after me like this, there is no wasting my steps as I race for the restricted sections door, head downstairs and barrel straight for the library's exit. Towards safety in desperate wait for my life. Library rules be damned. I can longer hear behind me, but I'm not taking the chances. A breath almost gave me as I neared the door. A little more! When out of nowhere a library card currents from a blind corner and slams to my sides. That's cheating! My back hits the floor with hard tooth, the impact completely knocking the breath out of me. The copper tank of blood gradually spreads over my tongue as I fight to get my bearings back. I force myself to move, even with the excruciating pain coursing through my limbs. The exit almost there, if only I can. But there's no moment's respite. Oh fuck! The next thing I know, there's heavy weight atop me and cold digits slide around my neck. Tight like a vine pressing, closing in, leaving me gasping for air. Alright, here is a crazy idea. Get your hand and freaking snap it inside of her mouth. And then grab the throat and... Would that be crazy? Probably, but crazy situations call for crazy measures. Through my blurred vision, I can only make out the hateful gleam despite in her eyes as she leans over my body and her grip on my throat grows tighter. Desperation kicks in. My nails dig into her wrist as I struggle against her firm grip, trying to pry her fingers away. Listen to what I said, damn it! Or you know, if not the throat, then attack the eyes! That might work as well. What the? Keep the slide within the green by moving the mouse in the arrow's direction. Right, damn it. Stop, left. Why does it have to be the mouse, damn it? Left, right. Did I win? A book. I don't think twice. My limbs are moving on their own before what I did could fully register in my brain and my lungs could recover. Behind me, she lets out a cry, sharp, loud, and thunderous against the empty walls of the library. But the fear her waves bring compares nothing to the relief washing over me when I finally make it out. Achievement unlocked. Quick escape. Alright, I will allow my heart to, you know, stop beating so fast right now. I think Rebecca should do the same. My knees buckle as soon as my feet hit the pavement. It serves cold and hard against my skin. I've only been there for a few hours, about 1 or 2 probably. I mean, 1 is not a few hours. I don't know anymore. It feels like an eternity all the same. My breathing hasn't slowed down yet, and I don't expect it to after going through that. And also we had the proof that books are very powerful weapons. I probably look the most undignified creature on a Sunday morning right now, out of breath and disheveled, slumped here with a bloody lip and all. But at the present, I simply can't bring myself together, even when a few passers-by start giving me strange looks. Stare at me all you want, I don't give a single shite. I'm alive. I'm safe, probably. This isn't the end yet, but I'm safe. For now. And this I'm back something that will get us out of this mess. Nothing definite yet. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's still something. Oh, she'll calm down, nice. If Isabel is here, I'm sure she'll feel the same. She'll even be the first one who will put her faith on it. Wherever this will lead us to is a victory on its own. Now all that's left is to find the others, the rest of us trapped in this bloody nightmare. Right on cue, as if an answer to my previous thought, my mobile phone lets out a beep. I pick it up, simply hoping it will be one of them. Only it's a voicemail that greets me. From Ashton. There's a pang of disappointment of course, but it brings some reassurance that things happen to at least one of them.
Hey Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
He ends it right there. The message less than a minute long. I mean, it was like 10 seconds. Not even 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Curtin gives nothing away. I let it ease my words regardless and do as he asks. Because this too is another trio for us. One less thing to worry about. Probably. Next. Rebecca was limping out of the Luxburn Public Library last Sunday morning, checking her mobile. A lone voice made from Ashton was telling her they need to talk ASAP. God damn. You know what? This was super not really exciting, but like my heart went actually beating faster there. Maybe not as fast as for Rebecca, but still. And she proved us that books are powerful weapons. Really powerful. Oh. Oh, profile. Alright, you know what? Let's end the episode here, and we'll move to Ashton tomorrow, so in the next episode. For now, hope you enjoyed. See you there. Bye bye.